Hey guys, welcome back. So this is episode 5 on .NET MAUI tutorial from the scratch. Last time on episode 4, we left ourselves with the custom fonts, right? So we are using quick and bold, light and regular fonts to create a different the levels or the style within our application. So just to recap where we left, so this is what we were trying to build. So now I think we have all these tabs ready, all these fonts styles ready, right? So today we will see how we can design this portion here. So basically, this is a chats page, right? The messages page where you will see the recent chat. Um, and the person who sent the chat message, person name, and the last message that they sent. And then on the right side we have a if it's within some hour, then it will show the hour. Otherwise, day if it's in the same week. If it's more than a week, then it will show the full day and the name of that day. So I know you guys are already familiar with the chat in many different ways, right? So, but this is what we are gonna make using the collection view. So let's get started. So let's do one thing. Of course, this is the tutorial from scratch, right? From very beginner's perspective, like to learn at least .NET MAUI and the layouts. So we are not going to use ViewModels at this time, right? We are just trying to create some design, learning the MAUI first, and then eventually I will introduce ViewModel, and then we will replace this code in the future. But in the beginning, at least we want to see, while making the code changes, at least we want to see at least these messages, like you can see, like there's one message, there's second, the third, fourth or five, right? But if you notice, they all have a common design, right? See these two, right? The only difference between these two is their name, the last message, and the photo or the time that they are gonna see. But the design, it's the same design, right? So that means we're gonna create this design only once, only one design with the photo level, these two levels, and then this level, right? We're gonna define that design, and then the collection view that we are gonna use here, that collection view gonna create this item based on this data. So the name of the user, the chat message, the photo URL, these are the data. And it will update, or it will bind those data in our design. So just to get started, I'm going to define this data as a very list of string right now, just to be able to multiply these things, right? But we're going to hard code this value for now. Okay, so all right, let's get back to the code. So first thing we want to do here, it's a content page. So you can only put one view here, right? And in our the page, there's multiple view. Like we have a search tab here, and then the chat messages group header here, and then of course we have this the collection view or list view here, right? But since today we're gonna focus on this guy, this area only, and then later we will cover this area. So I'm gonna just create the collection view today, and then we will modify it later. Okay, so here you can type collection view, and this will create a collection view. And you may be like interested to see the collection view properties, right? So like you can really find all the properties going through here. Most of the properties that you're going to use will be like if you want to display scroll bar, if you want to display certain things or any direction, or like there's so many things that we can do with collection view. But today we are not going to do crazy things here. We're just gonna focus on some layout, right? So first thing I want to do here is let's create this data, and then so that when we will run the application in the simulator, then we can see at least what's going on. Right, so let me just create some data here. So what I can do is like collection view dot item source, right? The data source, and then remember it's a collection view, so we have to provide array, array of, I'm going to provide for now, right? I already mentioned in future we are going to use the view model, and then the actual data that time, right? But right now, since we are just trying to learn the collection view and then how it works, so I'm gonna just pass in some like static text for now. So I'm going to pass the list of string as a data for now. So let's say chat1, like chat1, chat2, or chat3. How many number of chat messages that create, chat2, chat3. Okay, so I can say 2, 3, and 4. So this will do nothing, but it will create this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these messages. Okay, so right now I'm just calling them chat 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in future we're going to replace with the proper data model, where we will have the image URL, the person name, last message, and the date and time for that chat. So all right, so let's go ahead, right? So that's the first step. And then now let's create a design, right? So as I already mentioned, the design is only one design for each of those messages, and we call it item template. So the item source is to define these data, like these messages, right? And the design itself, it's called item template. And since this is very basic tutorial, right? I'm trying to at least give some idea, like the basic idea, like why it's what is item source and what is item template, but feel free to move forward if you guys already been using Xamarin and Xamarin Forms, then probably you're already familiar with all of these, right? But I'm trying to focus more for the beginners here. In item template, we define a data template, and since this is a collection review, right? I'm going to just create right now, right? Inside data template, I'm just going to create, let's say, so let's just create some basic thing, right? So I'm just creating a stack layout, maybe a label here, and then I will say text, hello world, let's see how it looks. So I have data template, and I'm using stack layout inside data template. Of course, I'm not supposed to use this stack layout for only one level. That's right, but who cares, right? So we are trying to understand here how things will work. So at least we want to see if these 1, 2, 3, 4 messages, or 1 to 4 times we should expect to see hello world in that view. So let's run, and we will see how it looks. So it's better to see things while we are working, right? So that's the reason I created those item source first, so that we can see what we are doing. Let's see. So it's building. Okay, build is successful, and then let's go to our chat page. There we go. So See, so we have hello world, hello world, hello world, hello world as 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 items. Of course, because we are defining the item source with the 4 different items here, right? That's the reason it is repeating 4 times. Remember, right? I told you in the beginning, these are the same design, but the data are different. But right now we are hard coding that hello world data. And in the future, right, whatever the messages is there, we're gonna display that. But right now, what we want to do here is, instead of showing hello world, we want to show the real chat message from here, right? So to do that, I would say you have to type binding, right? So you can define a binding or express, because it's expression, so you have to open curly braces inside here. So binding and dot means this item, because since this is a simple type, just a string, right? There's nothing fancy. So I'm just you can just access this as a dot, and let's run and let's see how it looks, right? And hopefully it will. So my hard reload is not working, guys, so sorry. I have to restart the application each time when I make any changes. Since I'm working on the Visual Studio for Mac, you can see, right, I'm always working on Visual Studio Mac, and VS for Mac is not yet supported to work with .NET MAUI project so far, but I'm still doing fine. That's a good thing. So okay, so the project is built. If I run here, there we go. So we can see chat 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect. That's the very first step that we wanted to create here. Of course, in future we're gonna show these messages, whatever are they. But right now, at least now you can see, right? So how we can define these things. So that's the first step, guys. All right, let's move on. So now we know things works, right? So we will try to create this design. So if we look at this design here, right, then it's nothing but just some grid, right? I think we can use grid here. So so look at this one here, right? So this is the main row or data template. We call it data template here, right? The item template, sorry. And then inside here, if you look at, so we have one column, right? This is a column, right? So let me draw it, okay? So hopefully it will be more clear this way. So this is our first row or item template, and if you look at this, right, there's a couple of things, which is this is a first this is a first cell here, right? And same way, this is another cell, right? This is another column here, so this is another column here, right? And same way, this is another column. So 1, 2, 3 column, and within this second column we have 2 items. Like we have first item, the name, and then the second item, the message here. So that's how it is created, right? We can divide like that. So we can use the grid here, right, with the one single row, of course, and then 1, 2, 3 column, and then first column, first cell, we're gonna insert the image. Last cell, we're gonna insert the level with the time, and the middle second column, we're gonna add the probably the stack layout here, right, to stack these two, and then add the this title and then the message, last message. So let's head back. So now we saw what we are trying to do, so let's just remove stack layout. Now we know we can use the grid, excuse me, grid here, right? So we know that grid had a columns, so it's called column definitions, right? And we can see, if you look at the whole thing, right? Let's say, let's divide this whole row in as a 10 unit, right? If these are 10 unit of white, then this is 1 unit, this is second, and this is eighth, right? Because if you divide, right, this is 1/10, this is another 1/10, and this is the rest of the space, right? So that's how you define the column definition, right? So 1/10, right? And remember, there's a 1/10 at the end, and then before that we have the rest. So we are calling it 10th, right? So now we have 2 already here, right? So we need 8 more, right, to call it 10. So don't get confused with the numbers here, right? Yeah, I can even use like like if 3 here, right? So let's say if this is 5 unit total, if this is 5 unit total, then 1/5, and then the rest, right? So you can imagine anything, just come with those numbers. So but I'm calling it like 1/10, or so that's the reason I'm giving the column definition like that. But that's it, right? So, and then we now know there's a image in the first column, right? So image, yeah, and then source, right? Image needs to have a URL. Source, in this case, let's see if we have any images here. So images, we don't have any images like that, but can we just not download? Let's download, right? Who cares? So let me just go to the flat icon. This is the website that I use, guys, to download the free icons or things like that, right? So just search for person here, and then let me just download anyone for now. Let's just download this guy. I'm gonna download the PNG. Maybe. Okay, 256 will be now. So this, I'm just downloading. So and then of course you're gonna need to put their attribution in your application. Okay, so make sure to do that if you guys are using the same resource from here. But I'm gonna do that later. So I'm gonna copy this guy, or I can just go to the project, right? So go to the project, images, add existing image, and downloads man.png. Okay, copy, and yeah, so right click and then properties, make sure this is set as .NET-MAUI image. Perfect, and I can provide the same name here, which is man.png. And so size, right, the white, it seems it's not too have big size here, so maybe, I don't know, maybe 30, 40, maybe, I don't know, let's see, let's try, right? So okay, so maybe 40 by height request, maybe 40, and yeah, let's keep like that. So, and we know this image was in the first column, right? So you have to say grid.column 0, and that's by default gonna happen, but it's better you specify, right? And now we know the second column has these two levels, one with the bold font that we created, right? And then another with the light font. So let's define that as a stack layout, and there will be a label, right? The text will be a person name for now, okay? And there will be another text as well, and this is the last message, right? So that's the last message we received. And remember, right, we have two different font style. One is a quicksand bold, and one is a quicksand light. So for now I'm going back here, and this is a font family. Like we have two font family, right? So Quicksand Bold, and this guy was a, let's go back here, Quicksand Light, right? And Quicksand Light, of course. The size, font size, I'm just trying to define like this way. Okay guys, we should be using the styles in future, but who cares for now, right? So I'm just giving like maybe 18, maybe font size here, maybe 14. We will make it better eventually, but for now let's keep it going like that. And here, sorry guys, I received the phone call. But so here we need to define the grid column, right? So column, that should be the second column, right? And then of course there's a third column that is only a level, right, with some text, like maybe let's say Wednesday for now, right, this text here, or 12 February, whatever we're gonna call it. Let's call it, okay, so let's call it March 5, right? 5 March, okay. And looks like that's the font family, same family, but yeah, see right here, right? So these two have the same styles, right? These two have the same properties. So if you look at them, maybe yeah, maybe same, maybe not, we guess. For now, let's keep it like that. So you can create the styles, and then put the styles, but we will do that later, okay? So just adding that level here, and of course need to assign the grade dot column to. Okay, so we have the layout, guys. Looks like, let's see how it looks. So let's run. Let's run, and hopefully it will not take a lot of time. Come on, it's taking some time. Let me just do like this to see side by side, and then we will change the layout. Hopefully this will look good. Go to chat. Wow, perfect, guys. This is not bad, right? If we go here, let me undo here, okay? So just removing things so that we can see it clear. Okay, and then this is how it looks right now. Wow, not bad, right? The person name, the message, the chat date and time, and then the picture are like coming so perfect, right? So, but we have some design issue here and there. So if you look at this design on my left side, right, there's a gap. So let's see what's missing in ours. Okay, so we can see side by side. So if you look at this guy, right, there's a gap, you see. So there's a gap between each of these, and if you look at the other way, there's a gap here as well, right? So this is the main cells, right? Then if you look at here, then you will clearly see there's a padding around, you see. So there's a padding around, you see. This is the content for us, right? There's some padding, you see. And that's the thing that we are missing. And let's go back to our code here, right? And then we will say, hey, okay, so see these gaps, right? This is remember, right? This is defined in a first column, this is defined in a second column, and this is defined in a third column. And then since these are columns, we can just define column spacing in the grid itself, right? I don't know how much, but it's not that much, right? I mean, it wasn't a lot. You see, this is very less spacing here, right? Not too much. And we can define that, the column spacing like that, right? And also the whole grid, right? If you look at the whole grid, right, there's a space outside of this grid. So grid is fully filled, right? This grid is fully filled up to in here. This is space, and we call, so that's a space inside, not outside, right? If it's a space outside, we call it margin, but if it's a space inside, that's a padding, right? So that's the difference, guys. I'm giving 10 just to see, right? So that this contains, we'll have some space from all the sides, left, top, right, and bottom. Okay. And it seems these two texts looks good, right? The person name and the last message looks good. Maybe person name is a little more big. I don't know. Maybe 16 should be maybe good here. Maybe 12. The font size, and then I will see how it looks now. So just stop and run again. So hopefully it will look good. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Let's go back to our design. You see, guys, so let me undo here. Okay, so yeah, it looks like there's more gap on the left side, but yeah, that's the gap outside of this thing itself. On the whole page there's a more gap. You see, this is not inside this guy, but it looks like this is from outside, right? But at this time, I think our view looks good. See, if I'm selecting, right, see that spacing, right? There's a space, there's a space, there's a space, and of course on the right side as well. It looks perfect, I think, for now. So of course we are not going to let user to select, right? Whenever they will tap this guy, then we're gonna show them this screen with the messages and everything where you can chat, really. But for now it's looking good. Let's do one more thing, just to not to let this selection happening. Okay, so selection more, you see we have the selection more, and I'm calling it none. And run it again and see how it looks. I think we have this design ready, guys, I think, right? So in future, right, this is I'm just showing you guys how to design. Okay, so in future, instead of this here, right, the item source, we are going to define the actual chat message with the person name and everything, and then I show you how to bind this thing, right? You can just use binding here. I already showed you that example, right? Instead of person name, let's do one thing, right? So let's just come up with some name here. Okay, so let's try. Oops, sorry, it's already running. So let's see how it looks. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. Let's see. So we disable the selection mode, right? Oops, it's still not working. Who cares, right? But we wanted to see in future how we're gonna do, right? So let's do one thing, right? So Rian, oops, let's some name, right? Rian, Sveti, Chris, let's see, Chris Mattison. Okay, and then what John and let's say in the INTR really, okay. And then instead of first name, right, this is how we're gonna do, okay. So in future, so binding, everything will be based on binding. In this case, I'm just binding the name of the person from at least from here. So in future, we're gonna bind the image source, we're gonna bind the chat message, last message, we're gonna bind this date and time, and of course this data will be coming down to us from some server or whatever, using the ViewModels. So let me just run and see, right? So at least it will look, you know, some real stuff, you know, some name here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, my boy name is Rian, guys, so he's here. Okay, so almost there. Come on. Okay. Build successful. I think I'm happy with my design so far. So you guys can modify the layout here until you are satisfied. But I think I'm happy at this time. So looks good, right? Perfect, perfect. Yeah. So that's it, guys. So all right. So if you like it, or if you have any suggestions, please, feel free to hit that thumbs up and then subscribe. Or if you have any feedback or any comment, please feel free to provide, and then I will try my best to resolve in future. As you guys, happy learning, and thank you for staying so far. Bye.